All right, buddy, welcome back to Bayou Time. Harry McCullough here. It's been one heck of a year for marsh fires, and we've had tragedy that's happened on I-55. Of course, we had the Savannah Road and Highway 90, and there's another fire off of Highway 90 that actually shut it down for a little while. Here to talk a little bit more about that, and a hit and run that happened a couple days ago is Ross Brennan. He is with the Troop C. He's a public information officer. So, Ross, thanks so much for being with us in your car on the highway. Can you first give us an update on the hit and run on a
Yeah.
bicyclist we had? Can you give us that update, please?
Yeah. So November 29th around 2 p.m., we responded to a vehicle versus bicycle crash on LA Highway 1 in La Rose area near West 54th Street. The cyclist in that crash, 66-year-old Henry Savoy, he was severely injured. He was transported to an out-of-area hospital where he ended up succumbing to his injuries a few days later over the weekend. Now, after that crash, there was a vehicle that was driven by 19-year-old Isabel Nguyen. She actually left the scene and did not contact any emergency personnel after. So while troopers were at the scene investigating the crash, they got report that there was a driver who was involved in the collision at a nearby address. And so some of them left the scene of the crash and went go make contact with her, where she ended up admitting that she was driving the vehicle and struck the cyclist that rode out in front of her. Troopers didn't suspect any impairment. There was no signs of impairment. She did voluntarily submit to a breathalyzer test, which showed no alcohol detected. Now, as far as the arrest goes, we did make an arrest yesterday, December 4th, for hit and run. We kind of had to do a little bit more with the investigation and also see the status of Mr. Savoy, if he was going to recover or not. But December 4th, troopers received an arrest warrant for Nguyen and ended up arresting her for felony hit and run with severe injury or death.
See, I see. So, yeah, tragic story there. So let's talk about the fires. And like I said, we seem like we've dealt with this a lot. Obviously, we had a drought situation most of the summer. I don't know if that's related or not. But can you tell me where this one is and what's the actions on the roadways now?
So this particular fire that we were dealing with, we were actually dealing with it a little bit yesterday evening. They had 90 closed for a few minutes just for the fire to put out the that's pictures there. Fire that was near the roadway. So it's on Highway 90 in between 316 Bayou Blue exit and the Houma 182 exit. That's kind of by like the Lafourche Parish gun range, if you're familiar there. So it's
Hmm.
kind of in between that stretch. It's maybe about a 4 or 5 mile stretch, and it's out in the marshland area. So we kind of got it under control yesterday evening. We were able to open it back up after a short closure. However, this morning around 5 o'clock, the wind shifted directions. It started smoldering a little bit more. And so we had a real a low visibility situation this morning. And just for the safety of all road users, we decided to shut down the roadway between 316 and that 182 exit. And look, I understand it's inconvenient, especially for commuters trying to get to places in the morning. But we really want to avoid, like you said, that I-55 incident again. I mean, visibility was maybe a 10-foot reports by some of the troopers out there. So, like I said, it's a little inconvenient, but we appreciate the public working with us and understand that we're doing it to keep everybody safe on the roadway. If you have to find alternate routes, I advise using a Google or some type of map or something, and just try to look at different ways. We'll try to post advisories as soon as we can. But sometimes you might have to take it and look for detours yourself, depending on where you're coming from. So just try to help us out a little bit that way by trying to find alternative routes if your normal path might be closed in this type of situation. So there, a lot of times they're fluid and they might be closed for a little bit and open next, and then we got to close it again. We really don't want to close the road, but again, like I said, it's a fluid thing, and sometimes with the wind changing directions, we just can't really control, and we just have to respond to the current situation and conditions.
Right, right, and look, as we've seen, that one that was by Savannah Road was probably about 3 or 4 weeks. It seemed like until they really got a handle on it and really kind of smothered it with
Yeah.
water. I don't know who's working on this situation and how they tend plan to put it out. But these marsh fires, when that moss starts going underneath, they can burn for a long time and be hot. And you think they're out, but then they'll pop back up. So yeah, I guess that's the best strategy to go. Now, is it still burning? And what's the status? Do we know right now?
So it's still burning in some areas. Now we closed the road around 5 a.m. this morning. We opened it up a little bit before 8 a.m. also. So about 3 hours it was closed. Hopefully we don't have the same situation tomorrow. We're just going to have to again see, kind of get reports which way the winds and stuff are blowing. But if you are going to be commuting in the morning, maybe whenever you soon wake up, I'll try to have another advisory posted if we do shut it down again. That way, it kind of gives you a little bit of idea while you're getting up and trying to plan how your morning commute's going to be.
Right. You know, I guess this time of year, it seems like we've got a little more water in the atmosphere right now. We've had a little more rain. Hopefully it won't be the same type of drought situation we had before. But yeah, it's something to be checking on all the time. This time of year, you know, you got cane, you got sugarcane fields, you got hunters, you got different types of things that maybe spark a fire. We're not in that burn ban anymore, I don't think, right now, right?
No, they lifted the burn ban, but you can also have a situation where it might be lightning. I think that was
That was
the
the
situation.
original,
If
right?
you remember, a few weeks ago on LA 311, we had to close it down with all the smoke for a little while. So between Highway 311, Savannah Road, even Highway 182, a little bit between Houma and Raceland, we shut it down for a little bit for smoke. So again, they're kind of sporadic, and we just have to respond to it and understand like it's an inconvenience. But if we do shut the road down, ultimately it's for the road safety of everybody who will be on the roadways driving.
Yeah, and this is a time where you're going to have the combine of smoke and fog as we get the cold weather as well. Well, Ross, we appreciate you from the highways, man. Stay safe out there, and we appreciate the update.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Al.
Okay, we'll be right back with more Bayou Time right after this.